You've visited Chongqing HIFU Medical with Ambassador last September. What's the main reason for your visit this time?
Last September, I visited for something else completely. But then during the process of the visit, we wanted to visit a medical university and the medical equipment company. And the host decided to bring us to HIFU. What I learned at HIFU attracted my attention. I come from a health background. Generally, I was looking at the clinical care of health in Zambia. And as a diplomat, a health counselor for that matter, I'm always looking up for anything that would benefit the health system in Zambia. And what I saw at HIFU, I immediately thought of how we would benefit from the HIFU system. At that time, the explanation I got was not enough for me to convince colleagues who are offering the service in Zambia. So my current coming is more to have an in-depth understanding of how high-intensity focused ultrasound works. And that I've had, and I've got a different perspective altogether now.
So in your opinion, how exactly the importing of the HIFU technology is going to help people in Zambia?
As mentioned earlier, that I've been on the lookout. HIFU is being used for management of fibroid uterus. And currently, the management in our country, we do mostly open surgery. We have a few where they do laparoscopic surgery, and very few they do interventional radiology, and mostly it's by embolization. Now, open surgery has got its own challenges. One of them is that if the fibroids are big, you need to have a blood transfusion in order for you to do the operation successfully, as you cannot assure the patient that they won't bleed quite a lot. And because of that, there are some patients who would either take long to be treated or may be denied treatment because of lack of availability of blood. Remember, blood is used for so many other conditions, and we know having a fibroid uterus may not necessarily be a life-threatening condition. So because it's not a life-threatening condition, it's actually relegated. It's only done when we have got excess blood to give them. Now, with the HIFU, you are able to do it without the need of blood, without competing for theater space, with just enough skills to understand the anatomy and the disease process of the HIFU. And the other advantage is that with little damage, if any, to the uterus itself, meaning that it would still be used as a childbearing organ.
As the HIFU technology was imported in Mexico from Chongqing, more and more patients around the globe could benefit from this technology. What do you see on the influence of Chongqing's medical advances in improving the healthcare in Africa?
You are right that so many people will actually benefit from it worldwide. In fact, it's only because some people don't know about it. The more reason people out there need to be informed that there is such a technology that exists. I've mentioned to say that in Africa we are dependent on the open surgery, and the people have to travel long distances and so on. So we will free some hands that do open surgery by introducing this interventional imaging or interventional radiology. So that way it means we'll save on theater space, save on scarce materials that are used that accompany the operation. Remember, we are not using anesthesia. We don't need a skilled theater nurse. We don't need a lot of hospital bed space. So with the limited health resources in Africa, this will actually save on that, because the fibroid patients will be managed like any other medical patient, not needing surgical space.
In the time that every country in the world is fighting the pandemic together, what's your expectations about the cooperation between Zambia and China, especially with Chongqing?
Now, when you look at the current world pandemic, that gave an advantage to China. Well, of course, it was a disaster at that time, but it gave it an advantage to understand the disease, recover from it, build up resources, and fight it. In fact, I would say China has actually conquered the epidemic in the country. What China is now focusing on is outside China. And China cannot be safe if the COVID-19 is still there outside China, because there's no country that is an island. But you'll also be glad to know that almost all the products that were being used starting after February 2020, when China started recovering, have been coming from China. Zambia in particular has had a number of shipments of PPEs as well as medicines to support the fight against COVID-19. We had challenges of testing kits. The Chinese government came to our aid. And when we narrowed down to Chongqing in particular, the last visit I had in September, actually I came to visit a company that was responsible for manufacturing of face masks. If you remember, at that particular time, there was a shortage of PPEs worldwide. And Chongqing actually offered to say, we have face masks that we can help Zambia. Now, we know that the COVID-19 is not the only disease. Much as we came here because of the pandemic, we were able to see that there is also HIFU that does exist. So the pandemic, much as it is a world problem, it has also created an opportunity in other areas. This time, Zambia will know more about HIFU because of the pandemic. Because had it not been for the pandemic, I wouldn't have had come here.